I still remember the exact sound the grill made that morning when I lit it at 5:47 a.m. A soft whoosh followed by a low, steady hiss like something ancient waking up and deciding whether to breathe. Sky was still mostly night. Streetlights on Peachtree Street gave everything a pale orange glow, air already thick with Georgia humidity even though the sun had not yet shown its face. My name is Marcus Johnson, 42 years old. Father of one 12-year-old girl named Aaliyah who swears every night before bed that she will become a doctor and fix people the way her daddy fixes hot dogs. Owner and sole operator of a red and white pushcart that has occupied the same 6 by 8-foot patch of sidewalk outside the old First National Bank building for 10 consecutive years minus 2 snow days in 2014 and 1 power outage in 2017. I do not usually spend the first minutes of dawn thinking about the weight of things. There is too much to do. Unlock the storage unit 3 blocks west, check propane level, fill ice in the cooler, stock buns in the warmer drawer, wheel the cart along quiet streets while delivery vans rumble past and the first joggers appear wearing headlamps and reflective vests like they are running from something invisible. By 6:15 the grill is hot enough. Onions go in first. They hit the metal and immediately start whispering. That smells sweet, sharp, caramelizing is the real alarm clock for downtown Atlanta. People do not realize they are hungry until it reaches them. First regular every single morning without fail is Mr. Hargrove, retired bank security guard, 73, Navy windbreaker rain or shine, arrives at 7:03 on the dot. Plain Frank heavy onions Marcus, and if you got a cold bottled water throw it in. He always tips exactly $2, never 1.99, never 2.01, places the bill flat on the ledge like he is paying a toll. You're holding this block together, son, he told me once in a voice so low I almost missed it over the sizzle. I smiled then, smiled bigger than the moment deserved. Those words used to live inside me for hours. That particular morning, the routine held until approximately 12:40 p.m. Lunch rush was building. Office workers in summer weight suits. Nurses from Grady in scrubs the color of tired mint. Construction guys from the high-rise going up on Lucky Street still wearing hard hats. Tourists with lanyards and phones asking, "Is this the way to the aquarium?" I answered them all, smiled at them all, because every single dollar mattered, every thank you come again mattered, every extra squirt of mustard someone asked for mattered. Aaliyah's braces adjustment was due in 11 days, $180 copay. Her school field trip to the Georgia Aquarium needed $42 more by Friday. Electric bill was already 7 days past due. The cash box was my only buffer. Then I heard the boots, not hurried, not slow, just deliberate. Each step landed with the certainty of someone who knows the sidewalk belongs to him whether the city deed says so or not. I looked up before he reached the cart. Officer Daniel Reilly, 6'2", 220 pounds at least. Mustache thick and precisely trimmed like he measures it with a ruler every morning. Badge number 4782. He had patrolled this beat for at least 4 years. Usually he passed with a single nod, nothing warm, nothing hostile, just present, acknowledging that I existed in his territory. Today he did not pass. He planted both boots directly in front of the cart, folded his arms, let his shadow fall across the grill so the onions suddenly looked colder. I scanned the setup the way a building inspector looks for code violations before he even pulls out the clipboard. Marcus Johnson, he said, not a question, a statement. I had not worn a name tag since last July. Too many tourists taking pictures, turning me into background for their Instagram stories, so he knew my name some other way. Officer, I answered, kept the tone polite, neutral, the tone you learn by age 9 if you want to make it to 10 without trouble. You want a dog. On the house today, he gave a short huff through his nose, not quite a laugh. Appreciate the offer, but I'm not here for lunch. He leaned forward, elbows on the cart ledge now, close enough I could smell the coffee on his breath mixed with the faint chemical edge of gun oil and the cheap aftershave that never quite covered sweat. This is a good spot, he said. Prime real estate, office buildings, hotels, convention center 2 blocks that way, foot traffic like this. You must clear decent money on a day like today. I wiped my hands on the rag hanging from my belt, felt the fabric stick a little from sweat. We do all right, enough to keep going. All right, he repeated, let the word hang between us like smoke. That's the thing about all right, it's fragile. One bad day, busted grill, bad review online, health inspector with a grudge, and all right turns to nothing real quick. I nodded slowly, waiting. Already knowing something was coming, but hoping if I stayed quiet it might pass like a storm cloud that decides not to rain. He straightened, looked left, looked right, checked for witnesses even though the sidewalk was full of people who were not looking at us. Phones, earbuds, conversations about meetings and lunch specials. A man in your position needs protection, Marcus. Vandals, thieves, people who see a cash box and get ideas. Cops can't be everywhere, but we can be close for a small fee. There it was. Protection, I had heard the word before, whispered, in the vendor WhatsApp group when someone typed it and immediately deleted it, at the monthly permit office when lines were long and people spoke in code. You paying Reilly yet? Started last month. How much? 450 to start, went up quick. I always told myself it would skip me. My permits were current, cart was clean, record was spotless. Maybe the rumors were exaggerated. Maybe they only happened to the vendors who argued or looked wrong or parked 1 inch too close to the crosswalk. They were not exaggerated. 500 a month, he said, cash due first of every month starting today, $500. My mind did the math the way it does when survival switches to autopilot. Rent after utilities 820. Aaliyah school lunch account needs 60 more this month. Braces cape 180 next week. Groceries for 2, maybe 320 if I shop the sales at Kroger and skip name brands. Electric bill past due. 500 was almost half of what I would take home after a strong week. It was the difference between putting something in the college jar and just surviving another 30 days. I looked at him, really looked. The way his thumb rested near the holster, the way his eyes never blinked when he spoke, the way he stood, not aggressive yet but certain. Certain that I would fold because men like me always fold when the uniform shows up. I appreciate the offer, officer, I said, voice quieter than I wanted it to be, but I'm current on everything, permits, inspections, I think I'm okay. His mouth twitched, not quite a smile, more like he had heard the line before and it amused him in a tired way. Boy, he said, 1 word, 4 letters, and it landed like a brick through the windshield of everything I had built. Boy, I am 42 years old. I have a child, I pay taxes, I vote, I coach Little League in the summer when I can afford the time off the cart, and he called me boy. The humiliation did not explode, it crept, started in my ears as heat, moved down my neck, settled in my chest like wet concrete. I felt my shoulders want to round forward, the old instinct to make myself smaller. The instinct my father spent years beating out of me when I was 13. Stand tall, Marcus, world already wants you small. Don't help it, but standing tall in front of a man with a gun and a badge and the full weight of the city behind him is different from standing tall in front of a bully on the playground. He leaned in again, voice dropped lower. You think the city's watching out for you? 1 call from me and your next inspection fails. Grease trap, hand wash station, temperature logs, something always fails when they look hard enough. Or maybe your permit renewal gets delayed, happens, a lot. I swallowed. Throat dried despite the humidity. People walked past. A woman with AirPods laughing at something on her phone. 2 guys in suits arguing about fantasy football. A kid on an electric scooter weaving through legs. None of them looked over. None of them saw the transaction happening in plain sight on a busy sidewalk at 12:47 p.m. on a Tuesday in late June. How much again? I heard myself ask. Hated the words as they left my mouth. 500 today. And every first of the month after. My hand moved to the cash box before the rest of me caught up. Muscle memory from too many years of giving people what they want so the trouble stays small. I counted it out, 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s, each bill felt heavier than the last. When I placed the stack in his palm, he did not count it, just folded it once and slid it into his shirt pocket under the badge. Smart choice, he said. tipped his hat like we had just finished a friendly chat about the weather. See you next month, Marcus. He walked away, not fast, not slow, just gone. I stood there, grills still hot, onions still sizzling, one dog burning black on one side because I had forgotten to flip it. A customer stepped up, young white guy, earbuds dangling, two chili dogs, extra onions. I nodded. Hands moved on autopilot, wrapped the dogs, handed them over, took the cash, said thank you. But inside I was somewhere else. Somewhere dark and quiet where the word boy kept echoing louder and louder. I closed at 4:15 instead of 7. Wheeled the cart the 6 blocks home with my head down. Every step jarred the ache in my lower back that never really went away anymore. Every passing car made me flinch. Aaliyah was already home when I opened the door, backpack on the couch, shoes kicked off by the mat. She ran over and hugged me around the waist the way she still does, even though she is getting tall enough that her head reaches my chest now. Daddy, guess what? I made honor roll again. I dropped to one knee so I could look her in the eyes, forced the biggest smile I could find inside the hollow place that had opened up that afternoon. That's my girl, smartest kid in Atlanta. She beamed, then frowned, tilted her head. You okay? You look tired. Just a long day, baby. Nothing some of your hugs can't fix. She squeezed tighter. I held on like she was the only solid thing left in the world. That night I sat on the couch after she went to bed, TV off, lights off, just streetlight coming through the blinds and thin stripes across the carpet. I replayed it all, the hand, palm up, waiting, the smirk, the word boy, the way my fingers shook counting money I had earned standing in the heat for 8 straight hours. Shame is a slow poison. It does not hit all at once, it seeps. By midnight it had reached every part of me. Fingers, toes, the roots of my hair. I thought about my father, how he used to say we don't bow Marcus, not to nobody. I thought about my mother, how she cleaned white people's houses for 30 years and never once let them see her cry even when her knees swelled so bad she could barely walk home. I thought about Aaliyah asleep in the next room dreaming of stethoscopes and white coats and saving lives. And I cried, quiet, no sound. Just shoulders shaking and hot tears running down my face in the dark. I cried for the man I used to be before 12:47 p.m. that day, for the pride I had carried like armor since I was old enough to understand what armor was for the future I was trying to build for my daughter that suddenly felt one bad cop, one outstretched hand, one word away from collapsing. I did not sleep. Next morning I went back anyway. What else could I do? The cart felt heavier. The grill took longer to light. Customers smiled and I smiled back, but it was muscle memory now, nothing behind it. At 1:20 p.m. he came again, no greeting this time. 600, he said. Costs went up. I looked at the cash box, looked at him, felt the same slow burn of humiliation rise again, hotter this time. Officer, I said, voice low, that's more than half my week. I got a kid, school fees, braces, I can't. He cut me off. Then figure it out or find a new corner. Your choice. I paid. He left. I sat on the little stool behind the cart and stared at the sidewalk until my eyes burned. That was day 2. Day 3, the shame had teeth. Day 4, it had claws. By day 10, I barely recognized the man in the mirror. Every morning I woke up hoping it was over. Every afternoon he came back. The amount crept up. 650, 700. Each time the word boy was there, sometimes spoken, sometimes just in his eyes. I started avoiding mirrors. Started eating less, started answering Aaliyah's questions with shorter sentences. She noticed, of course she did. Kids always notice when the air in the house changes. One night she climbed onto the couch beside me, put her head on my shoulder the way she used to when she was little. Daddy, yeah, baby. Are we in trouble? I closed my eyes, felt fresh tears threaten behind the lids. No, sweetheart, we're okay, just working through some grown-up stuff. She was quiet a long time. Then she whispered, I don't like seeing you sad. I hugged her so tight I was afraid I would hurt her. I don't like being sad, I whispered back. That was the night I knew I could not keep paying, not forever, not if I wanted to look my daughter in the eye when she graduated high school, not if I wanted to be the man my parents raised me to be. I needed help. I needed someone who understood power. I scrolled through my contacts until I found the name, Uncle Ray. Dad's best friend since they were 14, marched in Selma, went to law school on a scholarship. Spent 30 years fighting cases most lawyers would not touch, retired now, but still sharp, still connected. My thumb hovered over the call button for almost 10 minutes. Calling felt like failure, not calling felt like surrender. I pressed call. He answered on the second ring. Marcus, that you boy? The word boy from him sounded different, warm, familiar, like family. Hey, Uncle Ray. We talked surface things first, his bad knee, my bad back, Aaliyah's grades, then the silence stretched. I took a breath. I'm in trouble, I said, and I told him everything. When I finished, there was a long pause, then he said very quietly, son, this ends now. Uncle Ray did not waste time on sympathy or long lectures. He went straight to strategy the way a surgeon goes straight to the incision. First thing tomorrow morning, he said, you go back to that corner like nothing happened. You serve your customers, you smile, you act normal. But from the second you see his boots turn the corner, your phone is recording. Voice memo app, screen off, volume 0, earbud in one ear like you're on a call if anyone asks. Do not narrate, do not provoke, just let him talk. Let him dig his own grave deeper with every word. My heart was already hammering just hearing the plan out loud. Uncle Ray, if he catches me with the phone, Ray cut in. He's coming for cash, not a fight, yet he thinks you're broken. He thinks you're his ATM with legs. Use that. Stay calm, stay polite, get the evidence. Send me the file the minute he leaves. I'll listen same day, then I make calls. What kind of calls? The kind that don't get made on speakerphone. I still have friends in the U.S. Attorney's Office. One clerked for Judge Harlan back in the 80s. Harlan's the one who put Reilly's uncle away for 12 years on similar charges. Same playbook. Shakedowns in the Fourth Ward. Harlan never forgot, never forgave. If your tapes are clean, Harlan will listen. And when Harlan listens, things move. I swallowed hard. And if they do, then we keep recording. We find other victims. We build until it's too big to ignore. But Marcus, one step at a time. Tomorrow you record. That's step one. We hung up. I sat in the dark a long time after that. Aaliyah's bedroom door was cracked open. Night light glowing soft blue inside. I could hear her breathing, slow, steady, trusting. The sound almost broke me all over again. Next morning I pushed the cart out at 5:45. Legs felt lead, grill lit at 6:12. Onions went in, customers came. I smiled on cue, said thank you on cue, but every police cruiser that rolled past made my pulse spike into my throat. At 1:07 p.m. I saw the boots. Reilly, he walked straight up, no pretending to browse, no small talk. 700, he said. You shorted me last week anyway. My right hand slipped into my shirt pocket slow. Thumb found the red button, pressed, felt the tiny vibration that meant it was live. I cleared my throat, spoke just loud enough for the mic to catch clean. Officer Reilly, badge 4782, you're asking for $700 cash right now. In exchange for what exactly? Protection from vandals or protection from you writing me tickets? He blinked once. First time I ever saw surprise cross his face. Then the smirk returned slower, meaner. Boy, you getting bold, that's cute, real cute, but boldness don't pay rent. 700 now, or I call the sergeant and we turn this into an official visit. Lights, sirens, the whole show. You want that in front of your customers. I kept hands visible, kept voice level. I'm just trying to understand, officer. You come every week, ask for more each time, call me boy, say you people. I'm recording this conversation because I want to make sure I got it right when I report it. The lie came out smooth. I had not planned to say it, but something inside snapped just enough to push the words past my teeth. His face changed, not fear, calculation. Eyes flicked left, right, checked who was watching. A couple slowed down, phones out like they sensed drama brewing. Reilly stepped closer, voice dropped to a growl only I could hear. You record me, that's a felony in Georgia if I say it's illegal. One-party consent don't mean shit if I claim harassment. You want to test that? My heart slammed so hard I thought he could see it through my apron, but I did not stop the recording. I'm not harassing anybody, I said. I'm asking questions. You're the one demanding cash. He stared at me for a long beat, then he laughed, short, bitter sound. You just made a mistake, Marcus, big one. He turned, walked away, no money taken, no ticket written, just gone. I waited until he was out of sight around the corner of Peachtree and Andrew Young. stopped the recording, hands shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone twice, sent the file to Ray without playing it back. His reply came 7 minutes later. Got it. Holy hell, son, you rattled him. That's good, very good. But now he knows you're not folding easy, so we move faster. I'm sending this to my guy tonight. Stay low, no confrontation. Just keep recording if he comes back. And Marcus. Yeah. You did good, real good. Hold on to that. I did not feel good. I felt exposed, like I had painted a target on my back and handed him the gun. The next week became a different kind of hell. Reilly did not come every day anymore. He came randomly, sometimes at 10 a.m. when the breakfast crowd was gone, sometimes at 4:30 when the after-school rush was thinning, always when I was alone or nearly alone. Always with the same demand, now 800 then 900 then 1,000. He knew I was recording. He started whispering things just loud enough for the mic but not for passers-by. You think you're smart, you think one little phone call fixes this. You got a pretty daughter, be a shame if something happened to her school records or her safety walking home. That one made ice slide down my spine. I never responded, just let the phone run. Sent every file to Ray the second he left. Aaliyah started waking up crying twice, sometimes 3 times a week. Nightmares. She would not tell me details at first, just clung, "Don't leave me, Daddy." I held her until she fell back asleep, whispering, "I got you, baby, I got you." But inside I was terrified he had meant every word. One evening she sat at the kitchen table drawing with her good crayons. I looked over her shoulder. Stick figure me behind the cart. Big shadow over me, black uniform, badge. And in red crayon, one word across the shadow, bad. I stared until my eyes stung. She saw me looking. "That's the policeman who makes you sad," she said quietly. "I don't like him." I knelt beside her chair, hugged her from the side. "He's not going to hurt us, sweetheart, I promise." But promises feel thin when you are living inside fear every day. Ray called on a Tuesday night, voice excited in a way I had not heard before. "We've got movement." My judge friend Harlan took one listen and called the U.S. attorney personally. They pulled old complaints. There are at least 7 other vendors who have paid Reilly over the years, all black, all Latino, all street level, patterns clear. They're building a task force. Quiet, no leaks, but they want more audio. 3 more solid ones should trigger warrants. 3 more. I felt sick and hopeful at the same time. Ray, what if he comes at me before then? Then you stay calm, record, get away, call me. We've got eyes on this now, you're not alone anymore. I wanted to believe him. Friday, 2 weeks after the bold day, Reilly came back. Rain again, harder this time, streets half empty. He walked straight up, no umbrella, just stood there getting soaked. "1,000, he said, no greeting, and you're gonna apologize for that little stunt last time." I looked at him, water dripping off his mustache, eyes red-rimmed like he had not slept. My phone was already recording. "I'm not apologizing," I said. "And I'm not paying today." He laughed, short, bitter. "You really think you won the lottery? Some old lawyer uncle gonna save you? I know who Ray is. Small world Marcus, real small." My stomach dropped. He knew about Ray. "But here's the thing," he continued. "You push too hard, things happen. Carts catch fire, daughters get followed home, accidents, you understand accidents." I felt cold all over, but I kept the phone rolling. "You're threatening my child now on tape." He stepped closer. Rain running down his face. "I'm not threatening, I'm warning, big difference." Then he reached out fast, grabbed my wrist, not hard enough to bruise, hard enough to remind me he could. I did not pull away, just stared. "Let go," I said quietly. He held for another second, then released. "Last chance," he said. "1,000, cash now." I shook my head. He stared a moment longer, then he turned and walked into the rain. I stopped the recording, played it back just enough to make sure his voice was. Sent it to Ray. 10 minutes later, Ray called. "They're moving tomorrow. Search warrant, arrest warrant, multiple counts, extortion under color of law, civil rights conspiracy, racketeering. They got 6 victims lined up already. Your tapes are the spine of the case." I sank onto the stool behind the cart, rain drumming on the umbrella. "Tomorrow, tomorrow. Stay home if you can. Keep Aaliyah home. Don't go near Peachtree. Let them do their job." I looked around at the wet sidewalk, empty now. Grill cold. For the first time in weeks, I felt something like air in my lungs. "Okay," I whispered. That night I told Aaliyah we were taking a staycation. No school tomorrow, movies, pizza. She clapped like it was Christmas. I did not sleep much, but when morning came my phone buzzed at 8:17 a.m. news alert. Atlanta police officer arrested in major corruption sting. I opened the article. Daniel Reilly led away in cuffs outside his house. Camera caught his face, pale, stunned mustache drooping in the flash. Then another alert. Federal agents raid precinct, multiple officers implicated. I sat on the couch staring at the screen. Aaliyah came out of her room rubbing her eyes. "Daddy, why are you crying?" I pulled her into my lap. "Because sometimes good things finally happen, baby." She did not understand, but she hugged me anyway, and that was enough. The arraignment happened on a Wednesday morning 9 days after the raid. I did not attend. Ray advised against it. Too public, too soon, let the machine grind without you in the spotlight yet. But the news played it live anyway. I watched from the kitchen table while Aaliyah ate cereal before school. Riley in orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed in front, head down, no mustache smirk anymore. Just a man who looked smaller than his uniform ever made him seem, pleaded not guilty to all counts. Judge Harlan, same judge who signed the warrant, set bail at $500,000. Defense argued community ties, no flight risk. Harlan denied reduction with one sentence. Given the nature of the allegations and the defendant's position of authority, the court finds significant risk of witness tampering and obstruction. The phrase witness tampering landed like a stone in my stomach. Ray called that afternoon. Harlan's playing it straight, but he's not hiding the hammer. Bail denial means Riley sits until trial unless someone posts. Union won't touch that kind of money for a federal case. He's staying inside. What about the text I got, the burner phone threat? Feds traced it, bought with cash in Marietta 2 days before the arrest. No prints, but tower data pinged near a known associate's house. It's admissible. They're building tampering charges on top. Every message you save is another brick. I did not delete anything. The next 6 months were a strange limbo. I went back to Peachtree full-time, new food truck instead of the old cart, white with red trim, custom wrap on the side reading Johnson's Atlanta Dogs, family owned since 2015. Aaliyah helped design the logo, smiling hot dog wearing a tiny stethoscope. "For when I become a doctor," she said. We painted it together in the apartment parking lot one Saturday, paint on our hands, laughter in the air, radio playing old Motown. For those few hours, the world felt normal again. Business came roaring back. Regulars first, Mr. Hargrove, the nurses, the construction crew, then strangers, people who had seen the news. "You're the guy, right?" they asked, voice low like they were sharing a secret. I nodded. They ordered extra dogs, tipped heavy, said things like, "We're proud of you," or "Thank you for standing up." Some days the line stretched half a block. Cash box filled quicker than it ever had. But every police cruiser that rolled by slow still made my shoulders tense. Habit, muscle memory, I watched until it passed, then exhaled. Riley was in county, no bail, but fear does not vanish overnight. It dulls, becomes background noise instead of screaming. Ray kept me updated in short, careful calls. Discovery phase moving slow, defense trying to suppress the tapes, claiming you were enticed into recording. Harlan shot that down in pretrial last week. Said, and I quote, "If asking an officer not to extort you constitutes enticement, then every victim in history is an agent provocateur." I laughed, real laugh, first one in months. Other defendants, 2 patrol officers and a sergeant, took pleas early, cooperating witnesses, light sentences for testimony against Reilly, case narrowed, one big fish left. Aaliyah started sleeping through the night again, no more nightmares. She came to the truck after school sometimes. Did homework at the fold-out table inside, handed out napkins to customers. "My daddy's famous," she told them proudly. I shushed her, embarrassed, but inside I glowed. Rosa from the tamale cart became a regular visitor, brought foil-wrapped masa packets, sat on the curb during slow hours. "I still can't believe it," she said one afternoon. 2 years I paid, every first, cash in an envelope. He'd smile like we were friends, then one day gone because of you. "Not just me," I said. Well, a lot of us recorded, a lot of us talked when the feds came. She shook her head. You started it, that first tape, that's what gave everyone else courage. I did not argue, just handed her a free dog with everything. City announced victims' compensation fund 2 months before trial, seed money from settlement pool. Each verified victim got initial check $15,000, more coming after conviction. I stared at the envelope 10 minutes before opening it. Then cried in the truck cab while Aaliyah was at school. Not sad tears, relief. The kind that makes your chest ache because you did not realize how tight it had been, paid off every bill, put rest in 529 for Aaliyah, told her it was college starter money. She hugged me so hard my back popped. Trials started Monday mid-October. Federal courthouse downtown. Security like airport. Metal detectors. Marshals everywhere. I wore navy suit only when I owned little tight in shoulders now from truck work. Ray met me outside. You ready? No, I said, but I'm here. He squeezed my shoulder. That's all it takes. Courtroom smelled like old wood and fresh coffee, high ceilings, American flag behind bench, Judge Harlan on elevated seat, gray hair, wire rim glasses, face like carved stone, no nonsense, no warmth, just law, Reilly at defense table. Orange jumpsuit swapped for cheap gray suit, hair shorter. Mustache gone, looked 10 years older. When our eyes met as I walked to stand, he did not smirk, did not glare, just looked away fast, like ashamed or scared. Prosecutor, sharp young black woman Ms. Carter, called me first that morning. State your name for the record. Marcus Johnson. Occupation, food truck owner, hot dogs, downtown Atlanta. She walked me through slow, first encounter, word boy, cash handoffs, escalating demands, slurs, threats. I spoke clearly. Looked at jury, 8 black, 4 white, 2 Latino. They listened. Some nodded. One woman front row wiped eyes when I described Aaliyah's nightmares. Then recordings. Ms. Carter played them, my voice tinny through speakers. Reilly's clear, cold. 500 cash starting today. You people always got excuses. 1,000 and you're gonna apologize. Courtroom dead quiet during last one. Rain, wrist grab, whispered threat about Aaliyah. When ended? Ms. Carter asked. Mr. Johnson, why did you record these conversations? I looked at jury, then at Reilly. Because I was tired of feeling small, tired of paying to exist on my own street, tired of teaching my daughter some men get to take whatever they want. I recorded so there'd be proof, so it couldn't be my word against his anymore. Silence again. Ms. Carter, no further questions. Defense counsel rose, older white man, expensive tie, confident walk. Mr. Johnson, you admit you initiated recordings without informing defendant. Yes. You continued serving customers accepting money while secretly taping police officer. Yes. Isn't possible you exaggerated encounters to entrap Officer Reilly gained financial benefit from potential lawsuit. Heat rose in my face, but I kept voice even. No, sir, I did not exaggerate. I did not entrap. I survived. Every day I went to work wondering if he'd show up, how much more he'd take. If saying no meant losing everything, I recorded because I had no other way to protect my family. He tried angles. You called him by name on tape, badge number, almost like building case. I was learning his name hard way, and yes, I wanted proof. He sat after 20 minutes, no knockout, just pokes, redirect. Ms. Carter played wrist grab tape again, asked describe feeling. Powerless, I said, like back in high school getting searched no reason. Like father's stories, Mississippi 60s, like every time world reminded me I was less, but that day I decided less wasn't my story anymore. Jury leaned forward, Harlan adjourned lunch, Ray met hallway, you did good son, real good, they felt it. I did not eat, sat quiet corner staring floor. Afternoon other victims testified. Rosa, taco vendor Carlos, older man pretzel stand, same story, different details, same fear, closing next day, prosecution pattern. Abuse authority, civil rights violated, predatory, systemic, defense overzealous prosecution, misunderstandings, gifts grateful vendors, no explicit quid pro quo every tape, Jury deliberated 3 days. I did not go truck those days. Stayed home, watched news. Held Aaliyah when she asked why quiet. Verdict Friday afternoon. Guilty, all 27 counts. Courtroom erupted. Gasps, quiet sobs. One person clapping before Marshall shushed. Reilly motionless, head down. Harlan set sentencing 8 weeks out. Outside reporters swarmed. I did not speak. Ray shielded, walked to car. That night city announced full settlement. 2.8 million divided 13 victims. My share 325,000 after fees, enough by small house good school district. Fund Aaliyah college completely. Start vendor support nonprofit if wanted. But money was not win. Win was standing Peachtree next Monday. New truck gleaming, line around block. Aaliyah beside handing flyers. Johnson's Atlanta dogs no more shadows. Customers did not just buy food, bought hope. Rosa came tamales. Jamal gave free haircuts. Vendors weak. Mr. Hargrove tipped 20. Told you son, heartbeat block. I looked around, people working carts, trucks, stands. No envelopes, no fear, just people surviving, thriving. That evening, Aaliyah, I sat new porch, swing house close 30 days. Sun setting, gold skyline. She leaned against me. Daddy. Yeah, baby. You're not sad anymore. I kissed forehead. No, baby, I'm not. She smiled. Good, because heroes don't stay sad. I laughed. I'm no hero. You are to me. Quiet moment, crickets starting, streetlights flickering. I believed her. One call, one recording, one decision, stop bending, changed everything for me, for Aaliyah, for every vendor ever felt weight, hand palm up. End was not dramatic, no fireworks, no parade, just man-daughter porch swing, free, finally free. Years passed, way good years do, quiet, steady, full. Aaliyah graduated high school valedictorian, speech resilience. Mentioned me once, my father taught courage isn't loud, persistent, showing up every day even when world tries make you small. When Emory full ride, pre-med, dean's list every semester, calls home full stories, labs, patients, professors believe her, sold truck eventually, not business slow, wanted mentor full-time, stand tall, grew, small office near courthouse. Hired to partnered legal aid, trained hundreds vendors' rights. Helped pass city ordinance mandatory body cams, downtown patrols, anonymous tip line, extortion complaints. Reilly sentencing came went, 25 years, no parole 15, last heard federal prison north, did not follow news after, no need. One afternoon years later walked Peachtree alone, no truck, just me, sun warm, sidewalk busy. Vendors everywhere, new faces, old ones, young brother, old spot waved. Free dog Mr. Johnson, laughed, took one, mustard onions extra relish, sat bench, watched, people hustled, laughed, lived, no shadows, pulled phone, old habit, checked threats, never came anymore, instead opened photos. Aaliyah white coat now, residency Grady, smiling scrubs, caption first day saving lives, thanks showing me how dad. Texted back, proud doesn't cover it, love you more, stood up, walked home slow, not stomach, long gone, replaced something quieter, something stronger, peace. Every once while wind right grills smoke drifts just so still smell onions remember. One call, one decision changed everything. If listening wherever corner holding down hear me, your voice matters, your story matters, when ready make call, because reversal might shock world, more importantly might finally set free.